Oh, you know what? Sorry. I do need to wish, Coach Hop and them, big win last night in soccer over number 5 Clemson. So a great way to start the year. And wish all those teams good luck. And hopefully that's a sign of Auburn having a great year everywhere.
You told us last week that your team had a lot of physicality, a lot of effort, but then there were times where there maybe was a little too much of that effort and physicality, and kind of worried about guys, possibly getting injured and things like that. Have you seen that get more under control in the last week and still seeing the effort that you want?
Yeah, I thought, we showed a lot of clips of how not to practice when we're not going live and how to practice. So we've had some good examples of both, and I think this week's been much cleaner. Not perfect, but cleaner. And we went in the stadium Tuesday night and got after it pretty good, and had some tackling periods and some thud periods, and I thought they handled that fairly well. In this week, yesterday was probably, we had one that I thought was not clean enough, which that's down considerably. So I think they're learning how to practice. Now the fear you have is, can we tackle when it gets real? Because you just don't do enough of it. And we'll find out soon, but we'll go a few more live periods tomorrow. And then that's probably about it. But, yeah, they've done much better.
Hugh, how have you seen Peyton kind of continue to develop? I know he had in the scrimmage it was kind of a slower start for the offense. Looked like he picked it up there towards the end. Have you seen him in his response this week?
Really good. Offense had its best day yesterday. It was complete. I mean, it was, we obviously we bring them back during camp, watch all the film, and then have another install meeting and then a walkthrough at night. And yesterday on we always get together and do a positive reel, the good, the bad, the ugly. And there were very few ugly things or bad things on the practice film yesterday. And he's adjusting the protections really well this week. The receivers are steadily coming on. Perry, Malcolm, Bryce, Cam, and obviously I thought Sam Jackson had his best practice yesterday, and Robert and Camden Brown really had a good day. So I think the more they work together, the more he understands my expectations on when to kill a play and get out of one that's not good. The more he can do that for us, the better off we are. I can help with until 15 seconds, but things change sometimes, and I think everybody's trying to maneuver around that. Do we hold it until 15 seconds some, so that the defense can't, and then you put it all on Peyton, or do we try to start with 30 seconds talking to him and knowing that they still could change with 15. So it's we're all dealing with that, but it's been a really impressive week for his understanding and been accurate in throwing.
Coach, what really excites you about this year's group going from year 1 to year 2 just to really show the college football world?
Yeah, I got a text last night from a good friend just saying, hey, how's it going? I'm checking on you. I know these 2 weeks are tough on you physically and mentally as you get older, and it's a tough 2 weeks. You don't sleep much, and I'm be excited to get into Monday. But I told him, I said, man, I really like this team. I like the attitude. I like they seem to be operating for the most part. I don't think you ever get 100%. Buy in on everything, but for the most part, it seems that they're operating out of hunger and humility and not some entitlement and pulling for each other. And even though they're competing to play for playing time, and I really like this team. I don't know that means wins or losses, but I really am enjoying coaching this team and the staff.
Hi, Coach. Just curious on your thoughts on the offensive line and how they've been progressing throughout camp, but also how are they making that connection and chemistry with the quarterback room this year?
Yeah, the O-line probably is one of the tighter groups we have. I do think we have a ways to go there, and that's probably been my biggest worry about the offense right now, believe it or not. I think our receivers are going to come on and be fine. O-line wise, just getting them to gel and get on the same page. Really happy with most of them up there, but there's a couple spots we've got to bring it. We've got to come better. And now I will say it's somewhat hard to tell when you're always studying, really what the play produced. But we're still making too many. We're not all on the same page, and Connor Liu is very, very sharp, and he's making the right calls, but somehow it's not translating all the time to every position there, and so we've still got work to do there. I am optimistic that Tyler Johnson's now healthy, and I think he's got a chance to be really, really talented. And I tell you, Chambers has been a very, very good late pickup to help us also, and we're debating with D Wade where's best for him to play. So we're still in the process of figuring that out, but we do need to improve there.
It looked like Saturday, obviously we got a glimpse of it, but the defense was pretty advanced. They're showing you a lot of different looks. How pleased have you been with how much they've already done and put in this early?
Yeah, when I interviewed DJ, the thing that I was most impressed with was he kind of coaches defense like I believe offense should be taught, and where you can give a lot of different looks, but the communication system makes it pretty simple, and I was really, really impressed with that, and he can give you a lot of looks, and it makes it complicated for the O-line, for the quarterback, and but I do think it comes back to the fact that his system is just one that I was really impressed with, where people think we do a lot on offense. I don't think our kids feel that way, but we can make it look that way. And I think he's kind of got that same knack for calling defenses, and you've got to change up the looks, and he does it really well.
How has Towns produced for you guys this preseason? I know maybe that's a role he wasn't necessarily expecting to have back in the spring.
The first week it was fairly inconsistent, which kind of shocked me a little after the spring game. But this week he's been really solid. We did red zone closeout yesterday or the day before, and he had some critical kicks there to extend it and made everyone. So been much better. And it's not always him. Let's be clear. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with the snap, the hold, the timing of that. And we've had to improve that protection some and the operation, and it's been much better this week.
Coach, in the past, you've talked about in these scrimmages when one side dominates, you're not really left with a good feeling either way as a coach. How in the scrimmage Saturday, we saw a balance of plays made by both sides. How have you been feeling about plays made on both sides of the ball? Is it looking
Yeah, I left that scrimmage feeling bad about the offense until you watch the film and you say, if we were going live here, it's probably 2nd and 4 and not 2nd and 9. And felt better after watching the film than I did leaving that place. I didn't think we had a solid start on 3rd down. I thought we hurt ourselves some. Now, we're going to have some growing pains with the young receivers who, they've got to understand coverage, and this is a route adjustment that we have to have, and we did that a few times wrong, and that should come with time. But I did feel better after watching the film than I did leaving there. Then Tuesday night, the offense kind of had its way. I mean, now some of it, truthfully, was some one-on-one plays by the receivers that just were like, wow, and I don't know that you can depend upon that the whole time. But man, give those guys a chance to make a play, and for some reason in that live portion of the scrimmage, I mean, they like made every one of them, and not just them, tight ends too. B. Frazier made a one-handed catch over the middle that was pretty spectacular. Camden Brown, and then we ended practice with Cam Coleman making it was pretty spectacular, the catch he made in the corner of the end zone and one-handed, and so left there feeling really good that offense scored a bunch, but then you watch the film on that and you're like, I don't know if that's going to happen every single time, that we play. And so it's weird, but it kind of felt, even though the scoreboard would have reflected a lot more points, I kind of didn't feel as good about that as I did the one Saturday where we didn't score a bunch. So I don't know. It's hard to really tell, but there's definitely been some back and forth, which is good.
Coach, obviously we've been talking about Cam Coleman nonstop, but maybe who are some other younger, under the radar guys that have impressed you this camp that we're just not talking about enough right now?
I would start with probably DeMarcus Riddick. I think he's going to be outstanding. He's gotten bigger and can run, and I would start right there. I would go with Crawford at corner is going to be really good. He's just, again, we're talking about freshmen, and I'm leaving out the receivers, but most of them are being talked about. We're high on Malcolm and Perry and Bryce. I think all of those guys, we hit on all four of those receivers. Probably in the D-line, Malik Blockton is going to play as a freshman. He's got something to him. And Amaris Williams, I don't know if you're talking about him enough, but he's really, really talented. And so I hate to leave people out, but let's see, O-line, DeAndre Carter. We definitely hit on him. He's got to change his body a little bit, but, boy, his feet are good for a big guy. When he pulls, he brings a punch with him, and he's going to be a really talented one also. So I think that's a good place to start with those.
Hugh, kind of an in-between week after this week for you guys before game week gets rolling once classes start. I guess what are you looking for when it's not technically camp? What will you guys be working on in practice?
Yeah, well, number one, getting into the normal routine of what a week is like for us. Mondays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays are pretty good work days, and you got to lift 2 of those days and go through classes and tutoring and then practice. And we're going to do a normal game week, and then that Saturday we'll do a mock game at. Tuesday night we did the whole mock for a 6:30 kick, which is 2 of our first 3, I believe. And then the second one is 2:30, I think. So that mock game will be at 2:30, and we'll go through the whole pregame meal. And so they've experienced what it feels like for games 1 through 3 kick times. And then it'll be a normal week. We'll go over a lot of more. We'll complete our situational stuff today. We're going 4-minute offense and another 2-minute drill, and then last plays from the 45, the 30, the 24, the 14, the 8, the 4. But and I think that completes every situation, but we'll start hitting some of those again next week and just continue to have a normal practice week. Maybe look at game 2 and have a period each day for that. And then the next week, obviously, will be totally focused on game 1.
Hugh, your cornerbacks behind Keontae and Kayan. What have you seen from them in camp? I know it's a position group that doesn't have a ton of experience, but y'all have a lot of younger guys back there.
Yeah. Inconsistent, but hopeful. Kite, Crawford, JC, Hart. Those are all young kids. And Amon, again, Lanus, those 4 we need. We're going to have those guys play some. And JC's probably been the most consistent of them. Kite is very talented but inconsistent, and we've got to find some consistency there for them. And then you got, obviously the two true freshmen that, Crawford's been impressive at times, but we're going to need, we need at least 5 of those guys to be ready to play, and but we have been inconsistent.
Hey, you've been through a lot of fall camps throughout your career. Is there anything this particular season that maybe a unique challenge or unique challenges that you've seen in this short amount of time of fall practice before you get into the start of the season?
It seems that, I don't know why, but it seems like the decision of how physical demanding you are on the team is harder to decipher. I don't know why that is, but I don't remember feeling that way. I guess you're looking at the potential of hopefully playing more games at the end of the season, and I don't know. That seems, everything else is pretty common. I'm not a big. I told the staff this morning. I said, guys, am I I don't know. Should I let our kids go swimming or go to the movie, or we can't go to Disney World, or I don't know. And I see others doing that, and I've just never been that way. Maybe I'm just old school. I thought we were in camp, and I started to let them go today and not bring them back tonight and clean up the film and do the other walkthrough. And that was when I woke up this morning. And then by the time I got to the office, I said, that would be stupid. We need to work. And so I don't know. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden questioning all that, but I don't know. We're in camp. I will let them go tomorrow after the scrimmage. I won't make them come back, and that way they can rest all Saturday afternoon and Sunday before we get into a normal week with classes. But I don't. That's all I can really think of that's been unique. I mean, I think each team presents its own challenges typically, but like I said, I'm really pleased with what I sense in the team room right now and the way they're competing with each other, but yet it's in a good way.
You seen any separation from the guys behind Peyton, and when would you like to, I know because reps are always important, when would you like to kind of narrow things down to focus on the second guy?
Yeah, I haven't told the quarterbacks yet, so I won't say, but I kind of know in my mind where we're headed next week. But I'd rather tell them before I say it, and I was going to get through tomorrow, but I kind of feel like I know where we're headed with the reps. And I'll let you guys know next week for sure, but I'd like to tell them first. But I do think we're all on the same page, Nick, Si, and Kent, on kind of who is going to get the majority of the second reps.
How important is that to get that second guy?
Big, because the both all three of the others, they need more reps to get the protections right. There's still some of that. Peyton's getting most of them right, but the backup sometimes knows what he wants to do, but he's not processing. Man, I better get this protection OP'd. I better get it. It needs to go the other way, or so I think they need those reps, and you've got to settle in on who's getting the majority of those.
Hey, Coach, we've talked a lot about the freshman receivers, but what has it meant for them to have an experienced guy in Keandre Lambert-Smith that's also coming in but has played Power 4 football before?
Yeah, I think he and Robert Lewis both have set a really nice tone of leadership in that room, and accountability, and showing how to celebrate for the other guys when they do well. And there's nothing in this world, in sport for sure, there's nothing in this world like competition. It will bring out either the best in you, or I've seen it go some go the other way, and it is what it is when that happens. Those are the ones you can't really depend upon. But that competition in that room right now is elevating. Everyone has responded the right way, whether it's Camden Brown, Keandre, or he's been out for a while now with his ankle, but he's looking good right now. But it is it's bringing out the best in those guys, and I love to see that. And they celebrate when it happens with the other. So I think we're creating some really nice depth there, and Caleb Burton is pushed him. So I think we're all improving there, and they're celebrating. But if DeAndre and Robert don't respond that way, it probably affects that room. So I think their leadership has been really good.
Coach, you mentioned the value of QB reps. Peyton's been able to take most of the QB1 reps this offseason. How has that helped him develop?
Yeah, it was. I mean, we're totally different than last year, and from the spring till now, his understanding of kind of what the expectations are from him have grown leaps and bounds, and he does some things out there right now that I'm really proud of. That doesn't mean he always executes it exactly right, but he's thinking the right way. And I think that only comes with reps and meetings that we have to understand I really want you to get out of this play if this happens. I mean, we can sit in that room and write a whole board of if-then statements, and we do, truthfully. So that's a lot on that guy for me, because I don't like looking at a film after the game and saying this play had zero chance against the defense that was called. That's a bad feeling. And I just believe in coaching that position to where we are in the right thing. And I know that's maybe a lot on them, but that's why you have to have those meetings and reps and show them the things that could go bad. We won't get it all right, but you sure want to look at the film and say, man, we had 90% of our plays. Again, you may not win the one-on-one block or the one-on-one route, or because they're pretty good on the other side of the ball too, everybody we play, but schematically and structurally, we gave us the best chance. So that's the expectation from him, and Kent and I have got to do a great job of making sure we teach it the correct way for him.
Coach, we've talked a couple times this spring about what you guys project as far as 12 personnel, 11 personnel, with Malcolm and Bryce and Perry making so many plays, not only in the scrimmage but in fall camp. Does that leave you with a feeling that you might want to expand those personnel packages to get those guys on the field early this season?
Yeah, we've got some 10 personnel ready. I think and 20. Don't forget that, because I like our tailbacks. And so I mean, I think 12, 11. 20 and 10 will be where you see us evolve to. Obviously, other things in short yardage and goal line, but in the open field, I feel really good about those 4 personnel groups. I mean, I have no problem having Damari and Jarquez and Cobb on the field at the same time with Perry, Cam, and Dre or Malcolm or whoever it ends up being, but. So I think you'll, and Rivaldo, we played him too much last year, truthfully, and your routes get sloppy and they get slower the more we're asking, and so that 10 and 20 definitely give him a breather. So as long as those receivers keep coming on, I see us being more multiple in personnel.
You mentioned last week Jeremiah as one of your as a kick returner. Are you pretty set on your kick and punt returns?
Yeah, I think Jeremiah and Malcolm and Jarquez will kind of rotate the kickoffs, punts. Malcolm, Bryce, Perry, and obviously Keontae. So I think that's where we're headed. And let's see. Will Upton is a guy that feel very confident if we have to have a punt caught where we have the ball, and I feel very comfortable with him doing that also.
When you have a freshman offensive lineman like DeAndre Carter and you've got depth on the offensive line, how do you sort of balance wanting to get him experience and play him, and also offensive linemen often redshirt? How do you balance that?
It would be a week-to-week decision. He's got some work to do to come on. Obviously, he's just a freshman, and his body's got to change. And so I hope he's not one that we have to depend upon this year. But he's one that if you had to, the more he plays, the better he's going to get. You know, so we'll just have to play that by ear. Braden Joyner and Tate are solid. And, you know, so you would hope you can get through the year maybe and not use him more than 4 games, but wouldn't be afraid to put him in there. Thank you, guys.